Let me, ask you to stay with us because we're turning to more news as well that's coming in regarding the T20 Cricket World Cup 2026. Well, Gautam Gambhir's reputation as a sharp white ball coach faces its biggest test yet. India suffered a shocking 76-run loss to South Africa in the Super 8 stage of the T20 World Cup 2026, ending their 12-match winning streak and dropping their net run rate to minus 3.800. To stay alive, the hosts must now beat Zimbabwe and West Indies convincingly. Even then, qualification is not guaranteed. Multiple scenarios could see India miss the semis on net run rate despite 4 points. The defeat has sparked heavy criticism of Gambhir. Akshar Patel's repeated omission in the failed Washington Sundar experiment drew sharp reactions. Chris Shrikant called the tactics absolutely ridiculous. Ahmed Shehzad blamed politics damaging the team, and Ravichandran Ashwin questioned sidelining a proven MVP with the title defence on home soil hanging by a thread. Gambhir must deliver a flawless turnaround or face the heat of an early exit. Roland Butcher, a lot, of course, riding now in these next two matches for Team India. The match against West Indies and the match against Zimbabwe. They have to win, and they have to win both convincingly. But what do you make of this criticism that the coach is facing? Is it fair or unjustified?
Well, listen, the situation is that when the team does well, the players get the credit. When the team does badly, the coach gets the hammering. That's the nature of international sport, and that's the nature of cricket. So Gambhir is under no illusions that if the team do badly, that he's going to come in for some criticism and ultimately could lose his job. I mean, he's got a very difficult task at this moment because you're in a situation now where you've got to win all your games, but not only win your games, you've got to hope that results in other games that you're not involved with go your way as well. So, they could beat West Indies and they could win the last game as well, but still miss out. So it's a very tricky situation for them. They're going to need results to go their way. Now, West Indies has perhaps got themselves in a very good position because with a superior run net rate, if all three teams finish on 4 points, then basically they still go through because they will have a superior run rate. It's going to be real tough for India. It really depends on the game South Africa against West Indies. That's going to be an important game. If West Indies wins that game, obviously that takes them to 4 points, and with a superior run rate, they will make it. And for sure, South Africa will beat Zimbabwe, so they will go to 4 points. And India could finish on 4 points, but miss out. So they're in a real tough situation. Results have got to go the other way for them to get through.
Yes, indeed. John Newbu, come in here. Of course, you will be hoping Zimbabwe wins, of course. But, how is that India-Zimbabwe match really going to pan out according to you, looking at the form of both teams, and how much is on the line, of course, for both in that contest? And John, also Gautam Gambhir, criticism fair according to you or unjustified? What do you make of the tactics, the strategy used by Gambhir so far in the T20 World Cup, and where do you believe he's possibly gone wrong? All right.
It's unfortunate that I think this is the only time India has lost in this competition, that there's now heavy criticism on Gautam Gambhir. Coming into the Super 8 stage, India was unbeaten. India had a clean record, 97% order record in ICC tournaments. But then just one loss. Now it looks as though Gautam Gambhir is not the best man for the job, as they say. But it happens like that, like Roland said, that when the team wins, it's always the players, But then now it's unfortunate that the team hasn't won, so the buck now stops with the coach. And I think Gautam Gambhir is unfortunate to get this criticism, but it's a young team. Yes, they'll make mistakes. Yes, they will not play as well as the fans and the pundits and all the faithfuls would like. But I think it's important that they stick to the process. I'm sure when they offered Gautam Gambhir this job, he had his plan, he had his goal, he had his 2-year plan, he had his 3-year plan, and the Indian people were happy about it. So let's just stick with the plan, give him the support, and then judge him at the end of his tenure, because it's just one game. maybe he might not make the semifinals, maybe he might, but that's not the end of the world. Yes, you want him to win the World Cup, but then if it doesn't happen, what's next? That's the most important thing that they have to understand. What's next after that? Stick with the process. Make sure you give him all the support up until the time that they decide, okay, we've given you enough time, and these are the results that you've given us, or what we wanted. So it's a bit difficult, especially from a coaching perspective. And coming to the Zimbabwe versus India game, Zimbabwe's got nothing to lose. I, for one, think Zimbabwe is punched above their weight. It's a bonus that we got to the Super A stages. It's a bonus that we got there without losing a game, and we played well. And unfortunately, we lost to the West Indies. But for Zimbabwe, it's just another game, one game at a time. For India, yes, it's crunch time. They see it as an opportunity to actually get their net run rate up, which could work in Zimbabwe's favor. So I think from an Indian's perspective, just play the game as you would normally play. Don't let all these calculations go into your head, because you might end up trying too much and making a lot of mistakes, and that will end up being the detriment of them.
More news, in fact, also coming in now this hour. Team India's